That's fine. But anyway, so this is it. So yeah, so here I am. I'm Brian. I've been a top producing agent here in Volusia County now for about 5 years. This is my 5th year. I'm so excited. I graduated New Smyrna Beach High. So I am a local to our market. My business strategy is a lot different than anybody else's. So it's kind of fun when the Griffin difference meets Keller Williams culture, because then I get to teach you a class. I love it. So I'm super excited. One of the things that I developed over the years is I think I have my slides a little out of order. So one of the things here is in my presentation. So we'll start back. Everything starts with a presentation, right? We're going to a listing. So we're going to our listing, we're in the presentation, and during that presentation, we're going to tell them all the fun facts about their property, show them their comps and comparables. We're going to present value, not commission. And then we're also going to present what we offer for those value tags, right? So some of you are very familiar to looking around the house during your presentation. You can just see that bedroom that they haven't seen in 15 years is like, holy goodness, what is all this stuff? So I always can ask, what are your plans to do with all this stuff? 9 times out of 10, you always get the response, oh, well, we were going to have a garage sale, but I never had time. Or, you know, we're going to do an estate kind of sale when we're thinking of moving, but who has the time? And now we're trying to buy a house, and now we're trying to sell the house, and now we're trying all the things. Doesn't work out. That's what you get to do to work. Okay. So one of the favorite things, most people that got the privilege to know me and still getting to know me, and knows that I am not a fan of open houses. Now, does that mean I support you doing open houses? Absolutely, because if it wasn't for you, I'd have to do them. So when I say in my slide here, with don't waste your time with another open house, you take that as you will, as I know that there are some agents out there that rock star in open houses. That just wasn't my forum. So I'm all about presenting value and how can we present it back to it. More so, because if you're in a listing presentation, lately I've been getting the question of, well, what do you think of an open house? I don't know. What do you think of an open house? Well, I think it's for the nosy neighbor. Okay, great. So why don't we sell that nosy neighbor something? So then I flip it into a sale. So that stuff you said you wanted to get in a yard sale, when are we having the sale? Oh, I don't have no time. Well, you don't, but I do. Now that you hired me to take your listing, all we need to do is an MLS exclusion. Why would we do an MLS exclusion? Can anybody answer that?
Because you're working your tail off.
Well, I hope we're all going to work it whether we have that exclusion or not. Well, good guess or good roll with it. So the reason I would recommend you do this when we are presenting leveraging their garage sale, we do it with an MLS exclusion, at least for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. There you go. Thank you, Melanie. So the reason being is anybody else who knows my listing presentation package, I am all about a launch. I'm not one, so I call my bargain value sign in yard on MLS. I'll work for you at 5%. That's what you get. You go to 6 or 7, you go into the Griffin different standards, and then you start getting promotional videos. Potentially an open house by an open house agent here in our office. I've had agents do them for me in the past. Or, ta-da, get a yard sale. So, why we do an exclusion? Because you can't go from listed on Wednesday to open house on Saturday and be 100% successful and get over 60 plus people in that door by that Saturday. You're not touching them. And then an open house draws in a different crowd of people than a yard sale. You don't know you're looking for a house to buy until you're at a sale where everything's for sale, including the house. So the 2-week exclusion is because over here in our marketing, at least takes a 1-week run. You're gonna want to do a 1-week run when you're doing your marketing. So we do the MLS exclusion for 2 weeks so we can have the sale in the first weekend after the run, right? So we get the momentum going, we get everything driven. Now, your sales run. Okay, so your sales run here. So like right here, so we did the news journal locally for our last sale. I also have in here, you'll see in the other slides as we go through this, I also have in here some some marketing stuff. So here we'll jump right to that slide. So local publications and online marketing. So when we go through, so we're gonna go locally at the News Journal and Hometown News. So for me, I did the News Journal and the Hometown News. The verbiage was this simple. Port Orange estate sale, gave the property address, the time of the sale, when it was gonna be, everything must go from A to Z. Go bring your best offers. That simple. It cost me about $46 for the News Journal for the 7-day run. It cost me Hometown News $35. Very inexpensive, about a $75 to $80 investment. Directionals here. Ta-da. Comes with a great kit here. Okay, and then we go into some tags here. So we did 3 directionals that day, and it equated that sale that following Saturday ended up leading into over 60 plus people, 4 quality leads, 1 actual sale because I double-sided the property from it, and we'll go into that. Another potential listing who turned into a buyer as well. We're currently shopping at 2 potential buyers that are now on drip campaigns. And then I gave out all my cards. Okay.
What hours do you have a sale?
That's going to be based on the conversation you discussed in your presentation when planning into it, and we'll go into that. So just one of the other key factors is make sure you're always wearing branded materials. Okay. Any questions on the 2-week launch, why we hold it back in the 14 days? Does that make sense now that we timed it out? So now why are we waiting the other week?
So you mean by an MLS exclusion is you take the listing, but you guys agree not to list it
Correct.
for 2 weeks?
Correct. Yeah, so
You do tell them that at the sale, because you got to buy. Yes, like it's going, it's.
it's gonna be in our, Yeah, no, so. Yeah, so we're at our presentation. We just went over our open house slides. We just went through it, and I say I have open house assistants at our office that will provide that service for you if that is what you want to do under these tiers. Then we go into the garage sale. Then we go over the timeline because I take all responsibility. It is a little bit of a tricky sale, but it is definitely beneficial to them, and they're going to spread your name all over the land because people that are happiest scream the loudest. So.
Well, miserable people scream really loud.
So loud, but luckily no one's listening to those people. Okay, only misery that likes company. Happy today. We're gonna move into that because right now we're gonna go over marketing the sale. So that's what I want to focus on is the marketing. So when we did that pitch, so we're withholding it. We already signed the listing agreement. We already went through all the commitment slips. We already went through all the details. We're already through that. Now we're on the MLS exclusion. Oh, well, isn't 2 weeks too long to wait for the market? No, we're in the same market today as we'll be in 14 days. We're fine. Okay, just make sure you know your verbiage and how you're going to work on how that. Remember, everything is unique to you. Okay, I'm not here to sell you on verbiage, what stitch. You do you, because you do it best. So now you got it. So now we're like, well, we need the 7 days to run the sale ads. Okay, and the promotion. The reason we're doing the exclusion is because if God forbid any of this advertising reverts into a potential buyer lead that would like to purchase the house, I can now legally represent you both and everything taken care of. You know, so that was another reason you'd want to make sure I don't. So that is why, so then you do that, you have your sale. After the sale, what did the sale do for us? It decluttered our home. Right? So we decluttered the house. So now we're in staging mode. Now, all that stuff behind bedroom door number 3 that hasn't been seen in 15 years is gone. Because if it didn't go in the sale, you also present donating to local organizations because it makes you look like a charitable human being to your community. Plus 9 times out of 10 people want to be charitable, but don't really know the resources to do so. So when you get there and say something other than Goodwill, okay, they get really excited, especially if you use the word veteran. Anything involving, so for the example of this was my last sale, which was just at the beginning of the Christmas time, right before Christmas. So we had a lot of, it was an estate sale, the family member passed. The daughter flew in from Texas with her husband. I had to deal literally with every nut and bolt to this whole thing. So then when we were presenting this, to Sarah, her and I were talking, next thing you know, it came a class and we made it systemized, so you could have something to take with it, so just bear with, as I said at the beginning, live. So dealt with everything through that sale, now we're declutter, now you're staging. Okay, now, what are we doing in that week with all those leads? We're following up, we're following through. Correct? Now, so during those 7 days, I'm following up with these 4 leads constantly on. This one was hot and heavy at the yard sale. Okay, and so now we're going through that and then boom, we're on the market. But are we on the, now the MLS says we have to be on a conclusion, says we have to be live on the 10th. We are now having to be live. Perfect, but who can we show a listing to when we don't have it on the MLS? And who else? Database. So your database and your brokerage, other sales associate are allowed for your marketing prior to going live. Well, these salespeople just became my database on Saturday, right? So now I'm following through doing your things, and I'll get to that. So just, I'm a little over the place because I'm a little nervous, so I apologize. But, so going back, local publication, use who you use. It could be very inexpensive. You can pick anybody you want to. Online marketing, free. I didn't do anything paid online. Didn't do Facebook ads, didn't do nothing. I went to Swip Swaps. I went to my own social media platforms, and then I just shared it throughout the office here on our website. The sellers get involved a lot of times. So get them to share.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yes. So on the Swip, I call them Swip Swaps. So yeah, so I guess would that be what the marketplace and technically be is the Swip Swaps maybe, I think?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are just a breakdown of just some local. I used the rainbow KW because it was just so colorful. So it just kind of multiplied. So please, I'm not trying to promote anything else other than that. But so just up here, you see, I went ahead and did a little bit of the homework for our surrounding areas and all our other brokerage as well. If anybody's zooming in from any of those campuses. I did put on here for you guys in Atlantic Beach and St. Augustine, any other local publications, because of the fact being is your online searches were not so strong. When I talked to some of your city officials, you have some fun things going on over there. So Jacksonville, we got some things, but we got some good things for Daytona. One fun fact that we lead into with these sales that I didn't think of making a slide on, which I should have, is permitting. The reason I didn't do a slide on, because Volusia County is the only one that wants your money. So I called Nassau County, Duval County, Clay County, all these counties leading up to all of our other offices. And they all told me, Mr. Griffin, we've never even heard of a yard sale permit. Where do you live? Like, okay, so if you are in these cities, I just went ahead and pulled 2 up here because I'm assuming we're gonna turn over the county because it did trend need to be. Daytona Beach and Port Orange, $5 per permit. Daytona allows you to do 2 type of options. You can do a Thursday, Friday, Saturday option, or you can do a double weekend, double Saturday, Sunday weekend option. Now, Port Orange. Beautiful Port Orange. I proudly live there, so I can talk all I want. I do so much with them. So $5 their permit, they limit you to 2 sales per year. So when you're registering that, make sure either you're having your seller pull that permit for you. You can still hand them the money if you want to keep the costs offset for them, or you can get the form, have them sign, and you can drop it off and pay the $5. I tell you to pay only because it's easier to keep tabs of these expenditures. Because guess who pays that back? The sale. So we treat it like a business. Okay. Now, some agents I have asked some Q&As with and have talked to over it. Some agents actually charge a fee for this service. Just like an estate sales company would. I didn't make a slide on that because I do not, but I am to teach you, do whatever does best for your business.
So when you get a permit, it's just for you or for that house?
For the sale, for the
this-
yard sale.
For that one
Yard sale, for the weekend. So if you're in Daytona, it's gonna be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday permit. In Port Orange, it's a 1 sale permit.
And you don't have to get a permit both in the city and in the county, right? Just that.
No, the county didn't respond in time, but no other county offered and no other city limit. Jacksonville city limits didn't, Atlanta, St. Augustine city limits didn't require it. We were the only ones.
What about Holly Hill?
I did not call them, but we can look into that for some homework comes in on your end. I'm just giving you enough to get the ball rolling. And just to give you enough tips for success so you can make actual decisions based on where your property is located. Okay?
You said before something about 6 or 7% for your commission. Do you charge the higher percentage when you're doing the garage sale?
It's in the value package. So the Griffin difference moved to 7% this year. So now the Griffin difference package is your difference between for sale and sold, and then it goes into all your things that break down on why we can do it. You know, and then I have other testimonials and even non-sale testimonials that I can tell you in a private conversation later. But yeah, so it will be under those tiers. Anything over 6 at 5%, I'm doing nothing but a sign in your yard, honey. I'll tell you no, I'll tell you no joke. But again, I'm a little unique, a whole lot of different. So that's it on permitting. Local publications come in. Please utilize your friends. I was gonna go through this whole thing and I was stressing out over it of giving who to contact, who to call. But then I didn't want to make it feel like I was steering you away because you might have a friend at Hometown News that you've worked with. You might have a friend that worked with it here and you're gonna want to do. Okay, so this comes into most of the conversation because now we're going to talk about the sale and how we're going to position our sellers. So let's start over. Let's look at our total hours calculator. Okay. So I only invested 8 hours of time. That's not a lot, especially if you're reading ahead like some of us do versus what they made versus what I made. You know, especially so when you're looking at things like that, you've got to really outweigh yourself. Where am I working 8 hours? That kind of money. And I don't have an OnlyFans. So, what does 8 hours look like when in the conversation? So usually the first hour is I calculated as are you joining us? Yay. No, it's fine. Welcome. Okay, that's fine.
Wow.
I can go back through, wind up with time. I'm just kind of whatever. Okay. So 8 hours usually looks like a discussion of when, well, what's gonna sell, what's not gonna sell. Okay, kind of give that's your 1 hour conversation, kind of like going through, really give it some good depth, good thought. Then it goes into your the other 2 in your third hour, your second hour, your third hour. So that gives you your first 3 hours, right? It's gonna be these fun little things right here. Okay, for a total of $4.13. Help your fellas out. Okay, provide these. They save you so much time, so much energy, and it's a whole lot of grief. Yes, ma'am.
You have 2 different colors there.
I sure do.
Is there significance to color?
Well, I look pretty in pink and I just thought neon was fun. Okay. I'm not a spokesperson, but I bought it at Walmart proudly. Everything you see provided here today came from Walmart. I do break this down. Your fabulous yard sale sign right here. Do not write on this. Because this is where logic meets frugal. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So with this lovely sign, I think it's fabulous, don't you? It's bright, we can see it clear as day. It's only $4.84. Who knew? Right? A couple of those go a long way. Your garage sale kits, these are these fabulous signs here. And guess what? They already come with some awesomeness in the back of there with the price tag labels. And those kits as well are $4.84. And then these darling cute little labels, and then on the back of these, and these packets as well, they do have blank dots for other price points, and they do have these larger squares. Okay, so you see a little bit goes a long way. It keeps the headache, but we need to know how to break down everything with the sale. So this sign. If this here is port orange, it's gone. Okay, but over the sidewalk. Hi, Brian Griffin Realtor here. I'm having a yard sale, estate sale, one of my listings around the corner. Would you mind if I just put this on your side of the sidewalk? No, not at all, thank you. Here's a card if you ever think you want to sell. Right, sign that lasts all day, it has to go on. Okay.
That was worth the whole.
To keep that in mind, if we are in Nassau County, or we involved, do my homework for our other campuses, if you are watching. I can't see you, but I will tell you, the same thing goes for those counties as well. That goes all the way up for all of our offices. So if you're doing yard sales or you're doing estate sales based off this class, please make sure you learn that you cannot put that in a right of way or in any city property. Same thing goes with these. Don't be posting these on that. These are great for like your own mailbox right in front to sandwich it right to the house. These are great just for maybe you have your neighbor 4 houses down that has the perfect tree that will let you nail it right to because you're already friends. And she said your mother died, so she's gonna let you do whatever you want. So those are what those are good for. I definitely encourage these. So you could utilize, so we already just did 2 great sales tactics so far. We just door knocked the neighbor to put our sign. And you'll be amazed with how nice people really are because they don't really care and they know you're gonna come back for it. So boom, we just door knocked and we made a directional. They're not always fun, but I will tell you, after losing half of our directionals at this last sale, okay, sad. We still had well over the attendance. Because the neighborhood ones that I knocked on the door stayed. So everything getting through the neighborhood still made it. It was the city ones that didn't survive. But, so just making sure we know that. So now so we just did our signage. So you could do this the day before door knocking, get the permission if you wanted to save your time that way, okay? Or you do it the day of. And then that comes into your 4 to 5 hours worth of your sale. But before that, we're gonna back up because we're still in the tagging, right? So now we provided this service to our sellers. Here you go. I'm gonna go with them because they always seem to feel like, you ever feel like when you're with your seller that they just need you to hold their hand the entire time? But they didn't have time to have that yard sale, but all of a sudden, they're off on Saturday, they can sit there and they're willing to meet you on a Friday night to tag everything. Who knew? They just needed inspiration. You're it. So what I did is, so what we do is, and what I would suggest is you just spend either anywhere from an hour to 2 hours with them. You know, A, it shows you care. A, you're earning that percentage for your listing. It gives you that extra added bonus. You're giving a value to somebody that really needed it. And you go around. Now I'll tell you, at the last sale, there's a lot of delusion in sellers. So you definitely have to go, come back down to earth, baby. That China didn't make it $15 back in '84. I'm gonna give you a quarter today. Okay, so just remember, you have to do homework. Part of the price tagging was a little bit of SWIP swapping. We had big pieces. I had a gorgeous dinette set in there. Couldn't sell it more on SWIP swap more than what, $350 was the highest price point I found. So I did comps on the big stuff. So just make sure you make a note that you want to do comparables even on the furniture. Now, don't kill yourself. Don't go over your 8-hour window. 20 minutes on SWIP swap can pull up 5 major items, if nothing major. 10 minutes, if you're tech savvy, 5. You know, you're great. So help them price accordingly, because the objection here is to sell it. You want it gone. Another fun fact, okay? You have these here, you can then cluster it up, price them as a set, let it go. 1955 gorgeous outdoor aluminum furniture was on that patio with the wheels, lightweight. It was amazing. That was the coolest thing ever. Okay? She wanted like $300 for this really retro set. No way. The minute I sat on it, my fat rump, I cracked the vinyl. Oops, 25 it went. And it sold like this because somebody wanted to restore it. So you just remember, there's always, like when we're selling a house and we're selling it to a buyer that can't see through the beige paint, that it could be pink or blue or whatever color you want it to be, right? Do the same thing when you're doing your sale, because you're gonna be there. Okay, so make sure you help out, make sure you teach them accordingly on what styles, and make sure you always sound knowledgeable. Because that's what makes you stay confident, and that's what makes them stay confident in you. Because then what comes next really pertains on how well you led them to that moment. So now, we priced the house, we're done, great. I'll see you Saturday. And I don't stay the whole time. They're still pricing. I leave. I'll see you Saturday morning. You do, or somebody who helps you. Because remember, a helping hand goes a long way. So we want to make sure you're always that helping hand, right? Because it's more than real estate. I love that. I love that. I had to use it. Did you notice that on the slide at the beginning? Melanie, I loved it. Okay, so just keeping that in mind. So you are, okay, so that's a good question, valid question. The sellers, it's their stuff. Once you wrote them to being involved, right? So back in the presentation stage, remember, you can charge for your service or not charge for your service. So my advice to you would be is, if you cannot physically be there, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, then we'll just say Dr. Barb's estate services are gonna be 30% of today's sale, because it's gonna help offset the lifters I'm gonna need, and if we need to help contract any movers. It just became a business. Okay? Now, for those that are sellers, are all of a sudden have that Saturday off and they're gonna come and help you, guess what? It's their backpack breaking because you're looking cute in KW, okay? Or just lift the hand if you can. I'm not here to physically put anything on you. I'm just helping you assist other people and make money and help you make money too.
Do you find that in securing an estate sales service is difficult, challenge? I mean, have you had to do that? I feel like every time I've tried to secure one, they poo-poo it, they charge too much, they're not available, whatever. What kind of success do you have with that?
So, same.
Yeah.
Hence why I'm here teaching you
Exactly.
class, because now the Griffin difference offers estate sales and yard sales because of that. Melanie brought up a very valid point, if you did not hear that out loud enough, or in those in Zoom, that estate sale companies are a lot of times like this to you. If you don't have that multi-million-dollar estate like the Hawaiian Tropics one, where everything needs to go in that house, and then it could sell for the dollar signs it has on it, you know, they're not touching us at 1434 Biloxi Court, my address. You know, they're not touching us there. They don't want you. They don't feel like our stuff has enough value. Your average homeowner consumer is only purchasing anything in $1,000 to $2,000 swing these days, right? More about affordability, comfortability, and then we can always replace it later when it goes and not feel guilty versus then paying the quality. So the estate companies are noticing that and they're not finding the value, especially with the restoration companies that are now out there. I mean, we have some really good ones locally.
If the property listed as condominium and it's not allowed to have a yard sale, what do you do?
Or any HOA where they're really not allowed except for the once a year that's in their contract, what do you do?
So I work with those, with the HOA, again, it's coming down to a business and negotiation. So you're gonna talk to the association, you're gonna present to the association, and then you're gonna, now we're door knocking. Now we're clustering. Who wants to have a sale with us to help mail that sale? Again, whose sale is it? Yours or the seller's? Sellers. So they're gonna call their friends because you just presented this amazing idea in a neighborhood that your hands are tied. And they're gonna be like, hey, and guess what you're gonna do? Melanie, you're gonna offer to help every single one of those families. And you're gonna waste a little bit more time, and that's gonna be called prospecting. And that's gonna be potential business.
So question, so in that instance where it isn't an HOA, before you even go on the listing presentation to be able to like have this a part of, did you maybe have that conversation with the HOA first and then you when you're on your listing presentation, you can say, you know, I've already spoken to the HOA, we've gotten approval to do this. You know, is that a route that you would take or suggest?
Yeah, so whenever I list any property, first and foremost with an association, always review the docs.
Yeah.
Cause you need to know who you're getting in bed with before you get in bed with them. Cause you're gonna also need to know what the deterrents of the property are gonna be as well, i.e. a fence.
Yeah.
A open house, cause a lot of HOAs don't like those either. Condos don't love them either. Condos require a whole team. So the same thing goes with the sale with a condo. As long as you can provide the security and the entry, escort up, escort down, escort out, escort in, you're fine. You know, so I don't do condo sales, everybody knows, I will refer them over the bridge because I don't wanna have my brain losing all that power to all those ducks. So I envy those that do, and I have no problem sending over a referral. So if it's out of your scope of comfortability, please pass that buck along to who somebody is comfortable, so you could earn $1 too. Okay, referral, remember, referral business is big business. Okay, does that kind of sum that up with HOA? So do your homework, know what your stance are, call them, let them know what you're doing. You know,
And very often they'll give permission, you know, even though they say it's only twice a year
Yeah.
for the community yard sale.
They
If
can
you-
choose which one.
Yeah, exactly.
right, and then acknowledge and educate them.
Yeah.
To let them know you did your due diligence, you know, you got a permit for the sale, we're gonna be protected, we have this, we have multiple volunteers helping out, let them feel comfortable, as long as you present against negotiation. Like, everything's for sale, right? Even the house next door with no sign and, oh, it's like, I gotta buy or buying right now. Okay, so that's how we handle the associations, that's how we handle condos. Again, in a condominium, I would cluster the sale. Cause again, I don't mind helping others for nothing. It's a free job today, is a paid one tomorrow. So as long as you work with that in mind, you. I do suggest that, especially, and then again, we are the eyes as well, right? And we're the experts. So if I go behind door number 3 and it only has a dresser and a day bed, I'm not gonna offer them. But if they did take the value for it, is then yes, then I'm gonna be their online sales marketer. And I will take pictures and I will sell it. I've done this before too. You know, I take pictures of the product, we sell it. Again, all proceeds go to the sellers. I only ever minus out expenditures. So as long as I'm not losing $1, you're not losing $1. Number 1. You need to remember. Okay, so now we got everything tagged, we moved everything out, okay? We're now we're at the day of the sale. So now we're working in this scope here, the 4 to 5 hours day of sale. During your setup, the night before while tagging, I would have already had the tables done in the garage. As we shifted and tagged, shift and tag, shift and tag, shift and tag. You know what I'm saying? So as we're shifting and tagging, sellers are like, oh, I need this. This is my mom's china. Oh, it was beautiful. Do you want to keep it? Get it off the table.
Yeah.
Otherwise, put a price tag on it. Let's keep it. You know, stay in control. Then, so now day of sale, we're here. Where are we positioning the sellers? Right here.
I have a closing issue.
Oh,
That's why.
oh God, do you want to take my phone and help me too? Me too. I'm just ready to blow me up. So this fun little thing. Okay, because we got to go over a few more little legalities. One legality is we're on an MLS exclusion, correct?
Yeah.
So I cannot have a sign in the. Correct. Now, does that mean it can't be placed hidden in the garage behind like the bike? Because they know it's about to go from there to the yard? So, go into that, with not having a sign in the yard, but we can put one on the table.
So is it okay if they going on the market? What do you think?
Yes, I mean, we're gonna go into it. Yep, no, we're gonna go leading right in. Okay, so this is cute, love it. $20, Amazon, ordering on, whatever you want to, cute. You know, our friend Nicole Chapman here, she and I had desks on the opposite side when we worked together years ago at a different brokerage. Loved hers, ordered me one, cute thing, it's such a game changer, now it actually has a real working purpose outside of looking cute on my desk. Now it goes next to the cash drawer, okay, at your yard sale. Along with maybe a cute little, bless you, neighborhood flyer with your cute little KW stance on it, or however you got it doing it, because you're gonna now look like an expert. Now, why is everybody having estate sales and yard sales? It automatically drives the tone of the property potentially could be for sale. So now you have Mr. and Mrs. Seller sitting here. You're the one orchestrating everything because your goal is to meet something. What is our purpose? Lead generating, right? So now we got to captivate it, but we're not an open house, so we're not signing in on nothing. We're having actual conversations with actual interested people. That's how you go through 60+ people and you walk out the door with 4 good leads. You know, because you actually are engaging. Hi, I'm Brian. You're wearing your Keller Williams stuff. It was cold, so I have a KW jacket on. I'm a KW polo. I'm a broker associate badge on. We had my cards next to the sellers. I had red tablecloths. I was on theme, y'all. I'm telling you no lie. Okay, so boom. Now the sellers are, and we're in Florida, so I'm safe to say this. We're in a more mature clientele. So the sellers were even in a mature client age, even though they were in from Texas. So with that being said, what do they love the most is as much help as possible. I saved their back, their knees, their neck and their arms, because I moved everything with the help of one of the other neighbors, and boom, it was successful that way for them. But so they got to literally sit there all day and just bag all this stuff as I had a line to them with piles of stuff in people's arms. And all they were saying, every sale, thank you so much for coming out today. Oh, did you meet our realtor inside? He's amazing. This is all possible because of him. Oh, realtor? The house for sale? It's the house for sale? Why, yes, it is. Go speak to our realtor. Fun fact, I talked to the guy in about the dining room set. Comes running back in. You didn't tell me the house was for sale. We were talking about the dining room set. My focus was on that. I told you I did real estate. I'm wearing Keller Williams. Joke with them, build light in the conversation. I'll offer you $225 of the house. I said, get lost. I'll see you when it hits the market. Go talk to those people. They make deciding factors. So he goes out there, talks to the sellers. Again, they're helping other people and engage other people to start hearing it. Boom. Then they went back and said, oh, okay, no, we're not taking $225, or our agent's too good for that price. Moved on. So he stayed in the sale, lingered around. Next thing you know, his girlfriend's being called in, grandkids coming in. Oh my God, how many people ain't leaving? In the meantime, I'm talking with another couple now who then had a potential listing. Because then I went and walked their property, but they're nowhere near ready yet. So we got contractors helping those fine folks get that property near ready. We're gonna be in a minute. But in the meantime, we're actively showing them some properties where they're gonna potentially go. Right? So we're still working with them. On top of that, I led into 2 awesome drips. They weren't ready to buy, credit scores weren't quite where they needed to be. Okay, but now we got them on a system to success. Right? So that was a successful Saturday. It only took me a couple of days, and during that whole duration, my cards went everywhere. Now, these people here, how I got to walk their property is they bought something that needed delivered. Who delivered it? I did. Great. Got my boots in the dirt, right? When we call calling them people. What's the first thing we want is an appointment, right? What's the fastest way to get in their front doors when you're literally carrying in the couch? Perfect. Make it happen. You know, and in my case, I use my neighbor's husband, the neighbor husband friend to help me. So any ladies have struggling, if your husbands can't do it, grab some young college kids that you might have a grandkid or son or something. Or you don't have any of the above, just grab a friend or call me, I'll help you. You know, because that's how we do. So that's how we got to walk the property. That's how I got to then email them back all my vendors on who's going to restore that kitchen, fix the subflooring issues, and the roofing company for a new roof. Right? In the meantime, the wife is absolutely in love with me. And so we are having great time. We do a girls' day once every 2 weeks and we go out looking at houses. And then when we like one, we really throw him into seeing it too. Just to help keep things motivating on fixing their house so we can get rid of it. Okay? Any questions thus far on the day of the sale, on the positioning of the sellers? Any questions on that part of it? Yes.
Just the clarification, so if you don't advertise it, but they asked you, you can say, yes, it's coming on the market?
Okay, so yeah, so going back to that, you can market to your database and your local
No, I know, but I mean,
peers.
these aren't your database yet.
But I just met them.
Yeah.
Okay, they gave me their phone
Prospect.
number, they gave me their email information, because I captivated that in our conversation right on my phone. Right?
And you can give your apps, you get their phone number. Yeah.
Perfect, they already got my business card, they're now part of the database, so
Okay.
I can talk to them all day long about sale down. And who initiated the sale? Let's tell them. Oh, the house is for sale too, can't help but notice the for sale sign behind the other bicycles over there. Yes, it's coming soon, so we can't put it in the front yard. But I can sit right where it needs to be. You're already branded, so that's how you're marketing within the sale, because you're there as the professional, you are being talked to as the realtor. Correct, because we're wearing what? Branded material, right?
If you have any suggestions, I'm in Keller, we only have 5 days, we only have a, exception, we only have 5 days, we don't have 2 weeks. What would your suggestion be on?
So, fun fact. Good question, because I only belong to Stellar secondary. I'm Flex first. So all my listings hit Stellar at random times anyways on that. So what I would tell you is then you just have to tighten up your exclusion. We'd have to work out your launch a little differently, and we'll have to dig a little deeper in that, because I don't know enough to guide you truly through Stellar right now on that.
Okay,
Fair enough?
sure.
Okay, but if that is their window of exclusion, then that means when you had the initial conversation, you need to make sure you're presenting your value packages so that this way they already have a thought process on you and your services before you go for your final presentation to go over the hard facts, and then you're gonna expedite everything like yesterday. So your work will just be a little bit more intense at first.
Okay.
But just coming up with that simple verbiage, keep it clean, calling right in, and and then just line your stuff up perfectly. That's what would be my suggestion for those, when you have those tighter restrictions.
Okay.
Does that help? Does that help?
I-
I would need to dig into Stellar more. Because I don't work with them on a first-hand basis. I work on them as a second or third-hand basis, as where Daytona is my primary.
But we have 2 weeks to exclude.
Well, on a Daytona exclusion, you could exclude it as long as you need to. So you could when I took the listing, I did a 1-year exclusion. Only because we didn't know when the mother was gonna die, because we signed it based on the estate fee sales. Just keeping it real, I'm very, very straightforward with it. So you don't know these things, So we just did a 1-year exclusion, so that this way I held the listing and it kept every of the neighbors offering them 200,000, 225 for the property off of their doorstep and in my phone. So that's why, that's why most of this, and then again, and I know that Flex is ran up through the coastline too, so our other offices will be using that, will be using similar bylaws as well. But when it comes to Stellar, I'm sorry, I have to tell you, we will have to revert back to them to see really what that would look like for them. And if 5 days is the tightness, then we'll just have to adjust yours accordingly to your data, your MLS. Good? Okay. So positioning the sellers, spectators, the owners, always talk about your stuff. That is my biggest takeaway. Captivate that lead in your own unique way. Okay, I'm only giving you enough basis to see how a systematic will flow. You're gonna create, the royal experience, or you're gonna create your own experience to it. You'll make it your own difference, your own kind of fun. Put your flair on it. I know you do a lot with charities with the animals, so does Melanie, make that be part of your spiel. With every estate sale I assist with, I make sure that we're giving back at least 1% of the total sales. And if you did $1,000, what's, $10 donation to your charity of choice out of your pocket, something sweet, and 9 times out of 10 a seller will give it to you too. You know, it's a way of making a big win for the community. So position your sellers, turn your spectators into owners by presenting it. So now when we captivated all of those leads, we now do our sale, we're now following up on it, we still have the exclusion for a couple of days, now production's coming in, right? So now I get my team in there and we're gonna go in there, we're gonna start moving things, we're gonna start staging some things, and we got production, videography coming in, all that. During those days, I had the privilege of actually revisiting all these people and actually negotiating with Mr. 225 to actually see the light of day. Because what did he do that day? He brought back his girlfriend and the grandchildren. So I knew right then and there. So what did that lead? We're going live on Wednesday morning. What did I do to Monday and Tuesday? Hi. Just giving you a courtesy call. The property is now finally available for show. We're going,
2 hours, right?
we're going live in the window. Well, you could show it anytime to your database, but yes, you have 48 hours. And so you, so now I want you to know the house is prepped, we're staged, you look prettier than when you saw it at the sale. We'd be happy for you to come do an exclusive walkthrough. I knew you had some best interest. Your girlfriend was with this. Was Tina available? Wasn't that your girlfriend saying? Yes, it was. Yes, she is available. Perfect. I'll see you tomorrow night at 6. At 6 o'clock, I walked down the street because this happened to also be my neighbor. I walked right down the street, showed the property for a total of 40 minutes. They wrote a contract in 15. I sent it to Texas. We were bilateral by 9. Okay, for full listed price, cash they paid, and I double-sided both the deals. So at the end of, so that's how you follow through all the way to the end game. So when I went live on the morning, I always do it. And this is my little thing. You can do whatever you want. I always go live. I wait 15 minutes for the syndication to go through, 5 for fun, so a total of 20, and then I go to pending. This way, it just hit the hot sheet long enough to piss somebody off, and boom, you're coming right in as a hero to your sellers, and it also looks good on your time card for your board ranking. So just fun facts to keep in mind, so that whenever you're doing it this way, it's syndicated to Zillow. Now, I gotta tell you another fun fact. Within that 15-minute, 20-minute excursion, I did receive an offer.
Was it someone who'd seen it, was there?
So, I didn't captivate all 60, but one of those couples that came through that sale had a realtor. And when that went live for 15 minutes, they called me within it. It's amazing how hot some people are really doing their job. It really showed me I'm really slacking.
So you're inside and allowing, and the sellers are allowing people to come through and look at the house, even though it's not quite ready? Or, I mean, did you do everything to clean it and make it really great just in case?
So this was more of an estate sale than a yard sale. Everything had to go. Everything, down to the soap expensive next thing. So the whole house was staged as a sales place. It looked like a giant retail store.
You didn't get it.
Yeah, we got it for selling. Then we had to go through it, get everything out that didn't sell, things donated that didn't move, and then untag things that we were keeping for staging. That's when the phone call came back into place. Now we're ready for viewing.
I'm just saying, because the people who ended up making offers were there at the garage sale. So they obviously saw the house.
Correct. It was wide open. Everything had to go. We had people.
Nice enough.
I don't know necessarily that it had to look nice enough or clean enough. But it was just every room had stickers and sales. So every room it was already set up like a storefront, right? So, and of course, the living room was still the living room. The only thing on top of the couch was sheets, piles of towels, other little knickknacks and tchotchkes with tags all over it.
So the sale was in the house, wasn't out in the yard?
And the garage and the yard, we were everywhere. Yes, we're a yard sale, garage sale, homes, we're a estate sale. Everything must go, including the garden gnomes. Keep it all that day. And everything needs. Do not leave a stone left unturned without a price tag. Now, what happens when you still have a lot of stuff and it goes into the bewitching hours of the day? You're now, the sale was from 9 to 2. What do we do at 12?
Right.
$1 bags.
Oh, right, doesn't say bag everything up.
$1.
But this is the dollar table, this is $5 table.
So the sellers ended up going with that. Exactly, that is exactly how the sellers went. They went through a $5 table, $1 table. And then the last hour, we did it $1 bag. They took my idea and everything they could fit in a bag was $1. Just remember, $1 here, $1 there creates $100 eventually. So it all adds up. So at the end of the day, we had our big grand total of, was a little over $700. So I was super excited. Okay, because some of the bigger pieces did sell the next during the staging stage, because then I was still swapping. You're still working. Remember, we're trying to market it everywhere. So grand total, we're well over 700, but you see the sellers only made 615. Because I had to take out my cash drawer of $50. The $50 was broken down to $40 in singles and $10 in quarters. Because your average items on these stickers were these prices. You buy the salt and pepper shaker for $1, who knew? Okay, you get it, so boom, break that down, and then we had to take back out the expenditures for all the marketing. And that's again in your spiel during your presentation. I don't charge you 30% of every product because I'm only asking back for my expenditures for the actual marketing. And the reason you do that, because it gives you integrity, because we're a business. So we have to operate like we're a business, even when we're giving a helping hand. The reason the people have you there is because they didn't want to do it and they didn't have the time, but now they got the time, but you're still doing it. So make sure that this here comes back to you too. And I count out right there. At $80 marketing, $50 back to the till. I bought back the quarter. Don't leave them with the quarter. Don't do that to them. Buy back your quarter. Take your quarter. I even bought all the quarter. Because my family's Italian, we gamble on weekends, so we need the quarter first. Okay, mama. So take back your quarter, boom, done. So now at the end of it, they walked away with this. Okay, on the scale of it, I walked away with this. I lost 8 hours of my day, it double side, 265 transaction at 6%.
I'm assuming that's commission.
Yes, yeah, exactly, so this here was me listing the property and selling it. And then this here is me double siding that sale. So as you can see, the odds, they were so ecstatic, they were so happy to walk away with that much money because it paid for their airfare. They bought back their Delta ticket, their Southwest, whatever they flew, but that's what they told me, oh, this covered my airfare. It even covered the shipping of the old China set that she decided not to sell. Remember that fun little tidbit earlier? She did, that was $250 to ship it to Texas beautifully without a broken glass. So it covered things. So you just became their superhero in that position. And then in return, they gave it back to you, you know, by telling everybody who came through about your service. And then the fun fact is when you're listening to conversation, oh, my realtor didn't offer nothing. And you know, they didn't do any of this. And you hear that and then people talk to you. And then, you know, and you get to say, add more about you. Like I have the Over the Rainbow Connection group. You know, we sponsor locally different events here, or we give back to our local youth through the Parks and Rec every year. And we sponsor the Port Orange Community Trust. You can then talk about your community outreach and what you do to these strangers that is touching lives so much more than the 5 seconds you get anywhere else with people. So we went over some cost for startup with some marketing. Okay, we've gone over our cash drawer and our hours we put into the product. What we wear, where signs shouldn't go, only us charges you for permitting stuff. Okay, everything must go. And we got some cute displays here. And then just keeping the verbiage simple. Yes.
You said that we only charge for some utilities in Port Orange. What about the cities like the land or?
So that will be where your homework comes in. I wasn't gonna call, I wasn't spending a whole day, I apologize, please forgive me for that. I was spending a whole day calling every little suburb to figure out whether they are charging or not, because I was preparing for multiple campuses. So I had to make sure I broke down just enough of our Atlantic Beach office, our St. Augustine, everybody for everything. And then when I started realizing that Volusia County has the trend, what's $5? You could get out of here.
Is a problem.
I didn't go south, I only walked up the coast because we don't have we don't own a chapter, we only go up the coastline, so I only filtered in, we might have people zooming in for us. You know, just like I got my little sidebar here with the stellar, and I apologize for not knowing more in detail to that, we'll just have to adjust it accordingly, and this is where the presentation becomes unique to you.
Do you put anything on your like promotional material before you get the listing appointment? Like anything on your promotional material saying how you help them out with the sales or?
If I'm following, do I promote
Right.
the help I help with this? I think I promote that through the Griffin difference. I don't necessarily, I'm not doing, I mean, great idea. I mean, this is why I love these mastermind classes too. It's like, boom, great. Maybe something I should do.
Mhm.
But I don't, it's just part of a stitch. It's part of what I'll present and value when I'm on one, but no, I don't use it as a marketing. I don't use it as a hook and bait, which I should. Genius. By all means, we'll all be seeing yard sale ads now. Yes, let's do it. Let's sell the world, because one man's trash is another man's treasure.
If I may add a couple of things,
Yeah, this is perfect, because we're,
for free advertising, Garage Sale Finder allows you to do a free advertising. They do try to hook you into paying for
and
things,
what's it called?
Garage Sale Finder,
Okay.
it's garagesalefinder.com. They do try to hook you into, but you can skip over it. You just had to find the smaller print that says skip.
Good to know. Your SWIP swaps are free. Your social media is free.
A lot of people I know at the flea market use Craigslist sales to look up.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Craigslist.
Um,
I haven't used that in years.
I'm not promoting that one. That is on you. I seen the movie Craigslist Keller, people. I encourage it.
For finding comps when you're at somebody's house and they don't know what to price something. Found that Google Lens helps a lot. Google Lens,
Google Lens.
yes. If you have an iPhone, I think you have to download Google Photos, and then on there, there's a little icon for using Lens.
Okay, so I went ahead and just recapped this whole thing into, this is the biggest thing right here, because I want you to remember, you have to captivate the leads in your own unique way. Right? Still stay true to you, captivating your thing. This just goes from the start of the presentation, the setup and discussion, stay in control. Control is key, guys, it really is. Remember, you're the licensed professional. Okay, you're not gonna hire an attorney and represent yourself in court. You're gonna hire a realtor and you're gonna listen to them all the way through. They will do it for the sale. Tried and true, done it multiple times. It's amazing. It's amazing. Prepping and tag, remember, everything must go. That's key verbiage. Everything must go. You tell the seller, remove from the house what you don't want to sell. Using it for staging, just put not for sale, don't touch, or whatever you don't want to put on it. Again, you can still sell items when you use that verbiage and hold it back. You know, calculate minus expenses, hand the sellers their money and thank them for a great day. Okay, because at the end of the day, you're very thankful, A, you have the job, B, you presented value and worth. And then A, you just made them extra money that covered some of their expenditures. Of things that they were either gonna throw out, because how many of us in here has been to the day of clothes walkthrough and you're like, they forgot 2 closets, and you're like throwing things in your SUV, or you're on the phone, what do I do with this stuff? They're like, dump it in the trash, we're already out. You know, how many, like that happens time and time again. But now what we're doing is, instead of saving that nightmare for the day before closing, we're just offering it before listing. And we're doing it through a sale that's gonna be profitable to you, beneficial to you and your team. If you're on a team, you're even greater. You know, you have more hands, you know, when you're on a solo agent like myself. You know, you're doing the one job of multiples. When you're on a team, you have many people to partner up with, you have many people to discuss with. So the model works for a single agent or a team model. So it really is a good way to present as a whole. Any questions? Do you feel like it was beneficial? This is my first class. I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I was just so excited to share and stuff. So where do we put these? Oh my God, you all. Okay, what about these?
Mailbox, they're the neighbor street.
Are on a neighbor, okay, yes. These are yes. Excellent. Excellent. Well, I want to just thank you all so very much for being here today. I know the time ran into 1:30. I do have to cut a little earlier for myself to get to a board meeting. But anything I can do to answer any questions at any time. Some of you know where I live, some of you know me on social media, some of you know me through my cell phone here, and you always have contact through our KW network as well. Please feel free to call, text, email. Anytime, and several faces in this room can tell you that I will answer, I will go above and beyond, I will do the best I can for everybody, because I believe united we stand, divided we fall, and we definitely work better as a whole.
Just one small request, if you already have a list of those contacts for Hometown News and Journal, for those of us who don't tend to do that, just send it out.
I do,
Thank you.
I do, I'll email it to you.
You made it seem like it was something that's very easy to implement, so
It's great.
yeah.
Yes, I'm all about the KISS method. Let's keep it simple. And let me just make sure we had nobody in the Zoom stuff. Oh, I lost the Zoom anyways. So thank you. I'm all about keeping it simple. You know, don't overthink. Don't overthink things and just be yourself. Because remember, they're already working with you because they heard either A, good things or B, bad things. Remember, good publicity and bad publicity is still publicity. So, you know, just always stay true to yourself, always keep it real and relevant, and just be honest. Just do it and just stay true to it. That's all I can say. And it's amazing how many people will override an open house for a yard sale. Because they're already losing the Saturday for the open house. They might lose it by doing something fun in the world versus sitting outside in the heat, because Lord knows I put you in the blazing sun, I ain't melting. So, you know, it'll be amazing how many people will take it on. You'll be amazed at how many people will be there to actually help you. Because that no time seller found the time. And look cute, have fun with it, make a TikTok. I know we're all, I know some of us, so Stacy Johnson's social media course, I'm gonna tell you, it has helped me. I've gained 20 followers on TikTok since that class. I'm feeling like my old rump is going from this to this to this. We're ready for it. So just remember, you are being found. 96% of your buyers today is coming where? From online forums. 96%. I know. Imagine if they invented an AI that could actually auto-fill a contract. What would they need us for the other 4? Right? But that's where you know your market. That's where you know your database. That's where you know where you live. Showcase it. Stay confident in it. Just go out there and be successful. So thank you. Thanks for coming. And if, again, anything I can help with, let me know.
Only use a Griffin different.
Yeah.
So it is, yes. I used to be a team. And I had several agents on. And then I liked the team model. It was fun to navigate. But then I lost 2 team members because of the fact being that I worked them too hard. And then I'm like thinking to myself, I don't really work
And
that hard.
now,
So, well, when it goes into team thing, so then when I moved into Keller Williams Promotions Luxury, I was the Griffin difference team. I did have my fabulous buyer's agent. One thing I pride myself on, I guarantee you a closing within your first 90 days on the team, and we have great success with that. I've never not had a team member not meet that. But what happens in that time, I'm also pushing you to exceed that goal. So sometimes a team member can do 2, 3 closings within 90 days, but guess what? They forget that it was all the priming and all the conditioning that I did to get them there, plus they were my leads that got them to that table. And what they forget is they think they can do my job. I'll just say that not any of them are in real estate. So, because again, they quit because I pushed them too hard and to make them great. And then they quit because after they made their first check or 2, they think they can do it, and they realize they can't. Then they don't understand, because again, a team model is a little tricky too, because if you're not on a team and you come to a team. The team, all your database. So when you leave the team, the database stays. Except for your own personal, so I always encourage you, never merge your personal database with your team, but it becomes your pipeline. Those will be in your negotiations for your team contract. Thanks for coming, I really appreciate it, thank you. Good, and just really tighten it up, and then just again, but then once you leave the team, you're like starting over again. So I always tell people, make sure you just really do your homework and who you're investing with, because it's an investment, it's a partnership.
Right.
They do have it, so for me, because the Griffin difference started off as an industry standard, not as a team. So that'd be, so I presented value, so we're in a market now, kind of like it was when I started like 5 years ago. Houses sat longer, you weren't really multiple offering it at hello, you might get multiple offers, but it'll take you a couple of weeks to get them, and people want to hold out, all that stuff. So I learned that everybody has a niche. And mine was, what was I doing? So when I looked at this sea of realtors, that I don't know anybody because I'm new, but I'm seeing who the key players are, and everybody had this little niche, and this little niche market, this little thing going on, and I was like, And then I'm like brand new, I got 5 listings my first week in the career, so I didn't know what I was doing, but tripping over myself, falling on my face, making every mistake known to man. But in the meantime, I'm painting baseboards. I painted a whole patio ceiling because I'm 6'5", because the seller was 4'11". Okay, I'm cleaning houses on move outs. I'm prepping listings by mowing yards. So one of my friends said, "Boy, you're like the Griffin difference." And I said, "What did you just say?" He goes, "You're like, that's so different than any realtor I've ever seen. I love it, the Griffin difference." I'm like, "Stop it, it's so cute." Then her husband walks around at the house and goes, "The Griffin difference," like just being all silly, and I almost fell. It was so funny. And then that day was born. And then so then my motto changed to like a mission statement, like we became an industry standard. Because then we provide you this, this, and this, and this, and I started naming services underneath it. And then I was doing the service. Now I'm glad and proud to say that I know hire people to do those services, but they're still provided no longer by my but by some bodies. And then I also partner with places in town to give discounts. So I have a moving company that will give my clients 15% off if they use the Griffin difference code. I also do some online marketing for Save the Cheats. I'm big in saving sea turtles, so I donate every year along with my registration for my car plane. And along with other organizations, you can use the Griffin difference code for 20% off the sea turtles bracelets, which also gives back to our national sea turtle reserves. So just little things you can do. It just started growing. All my media platforms, the Griffin difference. I'm in Walmart the other day. Oh my God, it's the Griffin difference. Hey. Oh, we're so excited about Volusia. We've got talent. Great. Oh my God, let me tell you what else is new in town. We got the Rainbow Connection coming up here in Dallas. And then boom, you just start word vomiting. Word vomiting. And then boom, everybody can't be invisible. It's hard, so fun fact, my partner's 53 years old. I've been with him 15 years. I was 22, he's 37, loved him long time. We have a 13-year-old, life is great, right? Well, he wants to go into business for himself, so the Griffin difference is sponsoring and helping him boost body tranquility massage services, which is awesome. But where is the average consumer today? Okay, I'm getting all this line gets treated every 8 weeks. With needles and collagen because it's for me, because I'm gonna be like this the rest of my life, so we gotta keep it firm now. Okay, so boom, what is happening? He is an old dog trying to learn new tricks. Okay, but I will tell you, it has been since January 1st, he's gotten to the point he's now doing at least a reel or TikTok-ish kind of thing per week with me, or by himself for his own thing. And he's starting to see that online, his likes went from 0 to now like 10 per post. And he's growing and it's getting there, you know? And even me, who has thousands of people that follow me on Facebook and hundreds of people that follow me on all this stuff, you know? You only get a couple of likes, so to see that he's actually getting lower response, but quality responses and then inflating into appointments, tracking an ROI is awesome. You know, you just see, you have to do it. You have to really be embedded to social media, unfortunately, is where the world is living. And I will tell you, I know people that get more personally offended from you deleting them from Facebook, than you actually deleting them from your cell phone. Okay, so, true story.